Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of Mars. Mars passes through the sign of Aries. How Mars behaves in transit through the sign of Aries depends on the position of the sign of Aries in the individual's birth chart and the house order of Aries. This transit can be more prominent in your life when you have other planets in Aries, transit, or natal, heavy or light aspects to Mars. But the basics are as follows. The transit of Mars into Aries is an event that represents action, determination, and energy, because Aries is its ruling sign and as such gives Mars the opportunity to manifest all its qualities in full effect, both negative and positive. When both are aligned, they create a powerful combination that encourages us to make quick decisions, embrace challenges and face change boldly. When Mars, the planet of action, passion, and drive, is in Aries, its ruling sign, the dynamic combination creates a strong and assertive force that encourages the individual's ambitions and desires. This transit emphasizes the individual's desire for independence, courage, and leadership. So, Mars in Aries means that you are super passionate, and your sense of purpose revolves around aggressive achievement. This is a very powerful and raw energy, which in most cases represents the warrior archetype. The position of Aries in the birth chart will reveal to us where the warrior archetype will manifest itself, where we will not be afraid to express our opinion and fight for what we believe in, where we will value our freedom and prefer to work at our own pace, where we will not be afraid to take risks and face challenges, where we will take the initiative in various situations and show that we deserve to be leaders in these 2 to 3 months. So, we are motivated with the desire to be the best, we are competitive because we have a strong desire for success, and this means that we are on the move, constantly looking for new adventures and opportunities. Another characteristic that transiting Mars in Aries rewards us with is that we will not do things halfway. When we set our mind to something, we will follow it with all our might, from professional aspirations to personal interests. When it comes to personal interests, Mars does not hide from its feelings. In fact, Aries, as a cardinal sign and as the first sign, is the initiator.
Howdy.
So transiting Mars in Aries will gladly take action and ask someone out or tell their partner how they feel. Courage and expressiveness are visible both on a date and in the bedroom, but more in physical form than in emotional connection, and such a strong libido and fearlessness will lead to them trying almost anything. The downside of this is that they will have problems with commitment in the future because Aries is only self-motivated and action-oriented sign, which means that it is difficult for individuals to focus on the well-being of other people, and they are only interested in personal satisfaction. On a professional level, the principle is the same, only the statements are different, so in companies and societies we will witness statements by individuals that the project was successful even though no one voted for such a thing, but even the majority was against it for a number of reasons. Either way, it is crucial that you work on finding a balance between your desires and the other party, whether it is the needs of business partners or loved ones. As we have already mentioned, Mars is the planet of energy, action, and aggression in astrology, so the transit of Mars in the sign of Aries affects instincts and assertiveness. Therefore, self-confidence, independence and adventurism, with a strong drive to succeed in life, are normal influences of this transit. However, since Mars is free to express these positive qualities at home, it also expresses negative qualities without hindrance. These certain challenges, let's call them that, will in most cases manifest as aggression, recklessness, and impatience, which leads to conflict and hasty decisions. Let's dive deeper into these potential problems. Anger with Mars, which is the planet of war, when in Aries, war is literally war, leads to sudden outbursts of anger, where individuals very easily get angry and frustrated, especially when things do not go their way. This leads to physical conflicts and tense relationships if the energy is not managed properly. Recklessness is a combination of aggression, intolerance, and anger, which results in recklessness. It manifests itself in a variety of ways, from risky behavior to disregarding the feelings or needs of others. It is very important that individuals with a certain Mars position and difficult aspects to other planets are aware of this tendency and take steps to mitigate it. And impatience, where individuals want things done quickly and efficiently, now and immediately, and in the shortest possible time, will result in rushing through tasks, not giving others the necessary time to complete tasks, which ultimately ends in poor project execution, and such projects then lead to misunderstandings and conflicts with others who simply operate at a different pace. When we look at the Mars transit in Aries globally, we get a period of increased action, energy, and potential conflict, especially in matters related to leadership, the military and public initiatives. This transit will affect national or collective endeavors, often bringing a more assertive and direct approach to challenges, where in influencing society, the leadership of leaders will challenge and take a more aggressive stance, encouraging rapid change and decisions. Increased activity will be seen in the military sectors, and determination in military operations and defense strategies. Public initiatives and collective movements will gain momentum, with a focus on direct action and results. This transit in most cases serves as a catalyst for change, encouraging individuals and nations to act decisively while also reminding them to manage the intensity of their actions. Looking through history and the speed of Mars movement, we have very frequent encounters of Mars with Aries, but the most significant event in the recent past is certainly the German invasion of Poland at the beginning of World War II. This invasion led to widespread conflict throughout Europe and beyond. The event itself resulted in significant military and civilian casualties and set the stage for the global war that followed. However, as we have already stated in many videos before, wars on Earth are constant and ever-present. It is true that the transit of Mars is always involved in certain aspects and positions, and this is due to its speed of movement. So it is clearly visible in the recent example of the beginning of the conflict between Iran, America, and Israel, which began with the square of Mars from Aquarius to Uranus in Taurus. But what is crucial is how far and long it can go and how long it will last. But it certainly all depends on the personal hotheads of the leaders, aggressiveness, recklessness, and impatience, because we are witnesses that it is always one person who instigates the conflict, not the nation, which is also a characteristic of Mars where the emphasis is always on the me, myself, and I.